Hey everyone, and welcome to July's garden tour. We're entering the garden with our pole bean trellis. We have black beans over here starting to climb. These have taken a little longer than the purple pole beans over here, which are really putting on some growth. And I actually found some little beans that are growing finally. Let's see if we can find them again. Oh, maybe. Where did I go? Oh, right here. So those are putting on their flowers and some little beans. So we'll be getting beans pretty soon. And I can't wait for it to just engulf this whole trellis. It'll be really pretty. And then we'll go over to the potatoes, which the bed is looking sad now because potatoes are getting close to being done. But we'll go over here. And these are the Purple Majesty, and you can just see them popping through here. They're getting so close to being done. It's probably a combination of a little bit of blight and the potatoes dying off, but they're looking pretty sad. So once these are all dead, the green is all kind of yellow and died off, those will be ready to be pulled. And I think it's going to be a pretty good potato year. And we have some cosmos over here that are growing, just waiting for the flowers to go on those, but those will be pretty once these potatoes are done. And this cilantro has been done for a while. It's going to seed, so we can save this seed or save it for like culinary coriander. I don't really ever use that, so it'll probably be more for seed purposes. Save that for next year when I want to plant cilantro. And over here we have our asparagus bed, which the asparagus has gone to seed already, and I planted watermelon in here as kind of an experiment, and because our asparagus was so young, it's our first year planting asparagus, so it wasn't going to produce anything for us to eat. So the watermelon is kind of doing what I was hoping and just taking over this bed and kind of suppressing any weeds. We have some flowers in here, just waiting for more female flowers because everything has been male so far. But if you guys have any tips on kind of pruning watermelon, I'd love to hear it. I've kind of seen some things, but I don't want to kind of harm the plant. But this has gone nuts in here and doing really great. So hopefully we get some watermelon out of that, because I love me some watermelon in the summer. This was our lettuce bed and broccoli. I've let the lettuce go to seed, and I just need to kind of collect some seed from this when it's ready. The bees love this, and there's a bumblebee right now on it, which I love to see. And then we have our dill, which has actually gotten kind of attacked by these worms, and I looked them up, and it's kind of common, I guess. So I've just been kind of squishing it, but they make like a webbing in the flower, so I've just been kind of smushing them as I see it. It's kind of annoying because the flowers are so big and pretty, and the bees love it, but the dill smells so good. This is a bouquet type of dill, so I can't wait for canning and being able to do some cucumbers with this and pickles. So here we have some cucumbers and a honeybee here, loving this flower, doing its job. And all the They're just all over these. I love to see the pollinators out here. It's just buzzing right now. Literally. So I've kind of had to train these up this trellis. They're kind of going wild in the bed too, because I can't get out here all the time. But we've harvested a couple of our muncher cucumbers. The Boston pickling ones are taking a little longer to grow, and hopefully we get some of those here shortly. But that's what these are. These are the Boston pickling ones. But it looks like the pollinators are all over them, so we'll be getting some of those soon, I think. And down here's the munchers. We have one growing right here. They're all kind of hiding down beneath all the ones that we picked. Here's a longer one. That's probably ready pretty soon. But yeah, this trellis is doing a good job. It's just a lot of trying to keep it going up it. But it's working pretty well. And on the other side of this bed, we have our bush beans. And the cucumbers are kind of growing out into this. It's hard to kind of get them from there. Oh yeah, missed that one. I wonder if that's a Boston pickling. I'll pick that one. There's another one in there too. Jeez. Yeah, those are gorgeous cucumbers. So those will be great for pickles or fresh eating. I'm hoping to get a lot of pickles this year. These are just regular bush beans here. And then these ones are the navy beans over on this side to do some like dried beans with. I'm trying to get these from kind of suffocating our beans here. But yeah, so far so good. No beans on these yet. I planted these a little later after I pulled out all the broccoli and stuff. So the navy beans didn't come in as well as the other just green beans, but that's all right. We'll do with it what we can. And onto this bed. All right, so over here, we just pulled back our shade cloths, but I have one Brussels sprout plant. Pretty soon we'll have to get one of these kind of hoops to give it some more space here so it can get taller, and I'll have to fertilize this again. We're not having any Brussels sprouts. Oh, maybe they are starting to, on the little corners there of the plant, they're starting to kind of peek through. Nothing huge yet, but yeah, this is doing okay. I have beets here in this corner. Nothing has really happened with those. I think it got hot too fast, and I didn't water them great in the beginning, so nothing really bulbed up on those, but maybe they'll do something. I'm just kind of leaving them there to see. And then I have my celery, and these are doing good. With this netting on it, they're not like straight up and down like I had in the past, but they're still growing really great. They'll be okay. Pull this weed in here. And then I have my purple cabbages, or red cabbages. These always seem to take longer than my other cabbages. They're more of like a cone shaped. cabbage. And then I think I have a couple I might be able to harvest here.
Ooh, look at that big boy.
Yeah. And these ones over here, they had some warm pressure. So this one for sure isn't going to do anything. This one is taking longer because of that warm pressure it had in the beginning, I think. So I don't know if we'll get a huge head off of it. And these two, I don't know if they're just a later variety or if they'll get big at all, but we'll see what happens. And then I have my muskmelon here. It's a cantaloupe. And I'm trying to train it to go up this, which it's doing really well with that. And we have tons of flowers on it. Just trying to train it as it goes. It's growing really well, and I'm surprised that this one plant, I wasn't expecting it to vine out kind of like a watermelon. Which I guess I should have expected that since it is a melon. But I thought I would have needed multiple plants right here to kind of cover this trellis, but this one plant is doing great. And I think we'll get a ton of melon from this one plant. It'll be awesome. So once we get this up this trellis, we'll just probably need to support it once it starts to put on the melons, because I think with the cantaloupe, once they're ripe and stuff, they just kind of break from the vine. So we'll have to support it on the trellis, the actual melons. Let me harvest. I think I can harvest one of these cabbages here. It's been ready. This one, I think, is good. So it is a smaller head. Maybe could have gone longer, but it looks like there was some worm pressure on this one too. So even though we had this bug netting, those army worms kind of got to a couple of them. Some of them pushed through and made a nice head. So this is a perfectly good cabbage that we can eat. We'll just store this in the fridge for a while until we want to eat it. And I will just leave this organic matter in here to kind of decompose and mulch break down. Just kind of tearing it up so it breaks down quicker, but we'll fix that in a little bit. Okay, and over here we have some honey nut squashes on each corner, and we're gonna hope that those kind of do the same thing as that melon on the other side. We're kind of training those up the trellis as well. These aren't as viney, I guess, as melons are, but it's doing really great, kind of going up. And this one is putting on some really nice flowers. No, let me see. No females yet that I can see. So just waiting on, oh, maybe that one. But I don't know if it got pollinated. And this one is a female, I think. So we'll see. Oh, my onions are looking a little sad. We need to water really badly. It's been really hot. I had one onion kind of flop over, so I pulled that yesterday. But they're growing. They're still looking good. They're growing. They're getting to a decent size and bulbing up. We just need to water them. We got some rain yesterday, so that probably made them a little happier. But we need to come out here and give them a really nice watering because they just look droopy and sad. I have one zinnia plant that survived, even though I did like 3 different varieties, or colors, I guess. This one is looking really good. It's nice and bushy. And hopefully, I mean, it looks good. So I'll let this one flower and then I'll kind of trim it back, and then hopefully we'll get some nice buds all over it. I don't know which color this will be. It might be I did all the queen lime variety, so this one might be just the lime color. So we'll see what that looks like. And we'll move over here. And in here, I don't know, guys will have to check out my June tour, but my sweet potatoes were not looking good. And this is just amazing how much things can grow if given a little time and love. And once they just kind of get established, they're just loving life in here. And this is maybe, I planted I think 10 sweet potato slips, but only 4 or 5 survived. But it's taking over, the vines are, and just looking great. I bought a rosemary plant that I put over here, and those are about to get, it's just about to get taken over by these sweet potato vines. But kind of hoping the vines just keep taking over this bed because all the garlic was pulled. We got our garlic harvested, and I'm kind of wanting those weeds to be suppressed by these vines is my hope. I wasn't able to plant any sweet potatoes over in this side because the garlic was still there. So hopefully they just keep kind of crawling that way, and these weeds will no longer be an issue. Because the weeds were kind of a problem with the garlic. I don't know if there's anything I can kind of interplant with garlic next year, but maybe I can just add more straw. I had kind of taken some straw out of the bed because after they kind of popped through, after the winter, I took some of the straw out just so it would warm up the soil. I probably should have added more straw back because the weeds were not good with the garlic. They definitely popped through. So, oh, I missed one. Little guy. So over here, I think I missed one here too. So over here is our entire garlic haul from this bed. And so I know next time I can plant more. This was our first year with garlic, and I mean, I am not mad about that at all. Like, these are some amazing garlic heads. There are definitely some little ones, which is to be expected. I'm gonna have to go back in I have a kind of map of my garden and what I planted where and the varieties I put where, because I put these little slips of, like when I got the garlic, this had the label on there and it had the name of each type, and I was like, oh, that's perfect. I'll just put it where I planted it. And it just faded. The label faded, so that didn't really work out. I'll take those out, but luckily I put it on my map of my garden too. So I know I did Transylvanian, Music, and German Red varieties. I just don't know which was which. So I know, yeah, I'll have to just look it up. And I mean, we'll have to see which ones were these big ones because they're pretty amazing. I know when I planted, the Transylvanian cloves were huge, and I was really having high hopes for those, so I'm curious to see if those are some of these big ones. But I also know Music is a very popular variety, so we'll see. And I'll let you guys know afterwards which ones were the big ones for us. And next year we'll probably, I don't know if we'll do a whole bed of garlic. It was kind of nice to be able to start our sweet potatoes in half of the garlic bed, but maybe we'll figure something else out. I don't know. I've hurt my mouth. So now we're at one of the tomato beds. This is more slicer varieties, beefsteak varieties. They're all heirloom. And the majority of tomatoes I got were from M.I. Gardener. I think they all were. But we have, these are definitely Paul Robeson tomatoes. We have one that's growing really nicely. And like I said before, everything needs a good watering. And I need to come out here and prune and just kind of clip these up to the trellis. But I'm hoping I don't get too much kind of blossom drop on these. I know these are already, but it's been so hot. I'm hoping we also have another shade cloth that I kind of want to try to cover both of my tomato beds with on these trellises. So I'm hoping that'll help with that sooner rather than later. But we'll see. But so far everything's looking good, still growing well, and I'm hoping we get a good amount of tomatoes. And then this one we don't have a label on, so it'll be kind of a surprise. Nothing growing yet, but we have some big blooms on it, so we'll see what that turns out to be. This one's gonna be the Dr. Witchy's Yellow, which I love. It's so tasty, but like all of these are gonna fall off. You can just tell with that yellow on that stem. So I just hope that some of these stick around to make some tomatoes here. And then, let's see. Not sure what variety this is gonna be either. Like I said in the last garden tour, I didn't label all of my individual like up potted tomatoes. So some of these are gonna be a surprise, but I like all the varieties I started, so it won't really matter. I was just kind of wanting this bed to be all my slicers and the other one to be my paste tomatoes, which didn't end up happening, but it's okay. And this one, I believe, I thought I had a tomato on here, but I don't. Yeah, another surprise. It's not starting any tomatoes yet, but we have lots of flowers. Hopefully it does its thing soon. I think I have one on here. And this is gonna be red mushroom. It's called mushroom basket. Yeah. Mushroom basket tomato, and that's gonna be red. So a more acidic tomato, but it should get pretty big. and has like those nice ribs. Be really yummy. We haven't tried that one. I tried to start it last year and it didn't really pull through for us. But this year they're looking really good, and so far they're producing the most, like bigger ones so far. They might be an earlier producing one. Then we have my marigolds in between, like in front of those tomatoes. They're really pretty, big yellow variety. My green onions started to do really well. Oops, broke that one. Trying to pull a weed. Pulled the majority of my carrot, actually all my carrots. So have to think of something to put here or just like mulch it really well.
Yep.
This has some blossom end rot on it, so I'm gonna pluck this. Probably didn't get pollinated correctly, is what that would be. But these ones, I kind of self-pollinated this one because I saw it when I came out one day.
What are these?
And these are lemon squash. They're supposed to be more like resistant to the squash vine borers and squash bugs. This one's growing really well too. It's so spiky. So they're not like an elongated summer squash. They're more round, but you use them the same way. And I have some Italian striped zucchini. This one can probably be pulled because it's kind of growing kind of weird because of the pollination, I think. But yeah, I have a really good one inside.
Yeah, that plant's kind of been blowing up too.
Yeah.
That's the 5th or 6th one we've got off of it.
Yeah. So there's some smaller ones on here. I'm gonna pull this one because it's not pollinated correctly. It's just yellow at the end, so you know it's not gonna grow right. Yeah, so these are doing really well. Took up this space great. I had spinach here that I put in too late and it went to seed really quickly, so when I had my zucchini and squash, I started it inside, and by the time that was ready, the spinach was past done and it was time to put this out. So the timing worked out great. Luckily I have been kind of keeping track of my schedule and stuff, so hopefully next year I'll be able to keep that timing down. Yeah. So moving on to this bed, we have our Roma tomatoes or paste tomatoes. And then also on each end are my cherry tomatoes. And these are so good. I can't wait for them to be ripe. This plant took longer to put on tomatoes than the other one, but it still has tons of flowers. I did prune a huge side branch, so I think that's helping it kind of ripen things along. Kind of keeping up with pruning is very hard sometimes with tomatoes. You get all these, I get all these just kind of, I don't know, I forget what they're called, but they're kind of in the armpit of the plant, and a lot of people prune them. You're kind of supposed to prune them, but they kind of got away from me on a lot of these, and this is just going wild. But it'll be a ton of cherry tomatoes, which will be good. This one is a San Marzano. This has the most tomatoes on it. I can't wait. Just tons of clusters of these tomatoes. And with like paste tomato types, they're all going to ripen at the same time, so that's perfect for canning, for like sauces or whatever you're using it for. But that's kind of the way the determinate or semi-determinate plants work for tomatoes. And then this, first time I'm seeing this plant, but it has tomatoes on it, and I started this plant last year. Well, I tried this tomato variety last year, and it just withered and died. It's very temperamental. It's a Jersey Devil variety, I believe.
I can't find the fruit on it.
It's right here.
I'm sorry, I'm just blind to the
No,
camera.
you're fine. And from the description, I can't really remember what it said about this, like on the description anymore, because it was a couple of years ago that I got the seeds. But they sounded really good, just like very paste, a good paste tomato, very little seeds. And it was something I really wanted to try, but when I started it 2 years ago, they just, like I said, are very temperamental. They're very like stringy when they start, kind of, and they almost look like they're dying or they have some kind of disease, but they ended up pulling through this year, and yeah, they're putting on tomatoes, which I'm excited to try them. There's another one right next to it, I believe. Don't see tomatoes on that one, but it's still doing okay. And then this one, it's kind of giving me a little bit of anxiety because it's huge and it's a it's a slicer tomato, and I didn't prune it at all, so it's just gigantic, and it's like I'm gonna have to figure out the airflow. But this is a mushroom basket, I believe.
They look good.
It looks amazing. But it's just crowding everything here. So there's just so much more like airflow and room in between those other ones, and this plant's gonna get humongous. And it just wasn't like the plan. But that's how it goes sometimes. So I'm trying to work with it. I'm gonna have to get out here and prune it pretty vigorously here soon. Otherwise it'll probably just take over these other plants. And I really want my Amish paste, which was what I thought I planted there, but obviously not, because that's really my go-to like paste tomato. It's just really good, and I think that's what this is here. And that's, the Amish paste isn't really a determinate tomato, so this also gets large, so that being right next to this plant is just gonna be chaos. So yeah, we'll have to figure it out. But this is my other cherry tomato plant. I think I'm gonna have to take off one of these side branches just because it's going to be nuts if I don't. But there's so many little bundles here of tomatoes. Yeah, it's gonna be really good when they're all nice and ripe, and we can just pick them and snack on them while we're out here. So that's it for this tomato line or row. And then on each end here we have basil. So this is my Thai basil, and I mentioned this last time, but I do this for the flowers. The pollinators love these. It kind of smells like black licorice if you rub your hands on it. Yeah. Nick's not a fan. But the pollinators love the flowers. So if you have space for something like that, or even if you like, it's Thai basil, I would highly recommend. And then our peppers, which we're doing very sadly in the last tour. If you go, oh, I just broke this branch. If you go back and watch that, definitely take a look at it, because the improvement on these peppers is insane. We're, like I said, we need to water because they're looking droopy and sad, but they are putting on flowers. They're putting on some fruit on some of these plants, and I'm just stripping some of their leaves so they focus on that instead of on the leaves. They'll focus on the fruit. But I did not have high hopes for our peppers this year, but I think we have some growing. It's a little one here. I don't know, like it might not be the best pepper harvest here, but or biggest.
Got a banana pepper.
Yeah, it won't be the biggest peppers that we've grown before, but I think we'll get some. Our banana peppers always do really well.
Yeah, last year we had too many to even count.
Yeah, so many. And we had like 3 different harvests of them.
We have some jalapenos.
Yeah. What are these? I don't need.
I thought those were
I
jalapenos.
don't know if they're jalapenos or shishitos. We have both, so we'll find out. They do look like jalapenos. Yeah. And then it's my first time seeing this. Our straw flower is getting ready to kind of bloom. I'll come up and zoom in on that. This is such a pretty straw flower. When it actually like blooms all the way, the inside's really pretty. It's an apricot straw flower. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed with how the peppers are doing, especially these habaneros. These were very sad. They're still pretty sad. But please go back and watch that June tour and you'll see the difference. This was our jalapeno plant that, what is it, jalapeno or, yeah, our jalapeno plant that had aphids on it the first time we did our tour, and now look at it, it's thriving. Still no, well, it's starting to.
Yep.
Yeah, it's doing great. And I think it helps having the tomatoes here sometimes. I mean, it's full sun here pretty much, but I don't know if those really give it any shade at all. Kind of, maybe. But it might help a little bit.
Okay.
And then we have Genovese basil here. So I'm gonna pluck this because it's going to seed. And I don't want that yet.
This is the basil I like the smell of.
Yes. So this is what you would use for like pesto. Thank you guys for joining me on this July garden tour. I'm so happy with how everything is going so far. I'm learning a lot this year, and I couldn't be happier with my first year of starting new things. Especially this garlic, I am ecstatic about. We have some other good things that we found today, and I hope you enjoyed watching. So I'll see you in our next tour, and hope you liked it. So like and subscribe if you want to follow along, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.